Okay, so a little while ago, there was a little beef between former Steelers safety and ESPN host Ryan Clark and comedian Andrew Schulz, and this all had to do with an incident on Schulz's Flagrant podcast in which the comedian made a little joke denigrating black women. Have a listen.
Really?
Black girlfriend effect.
Yeah.
You're
into that.
Yeah. She came in.
What's the black girlfriend? They just come in and start fighting?
Nah, bro. You guys don't know about the black girlfriend effect. She just.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect?
Oh, you don't know about
just glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows
up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
they grow a beard
because
there's more cushion when they get slapped the out.
That's hilarious.
Okay, when I first saw this clip, I didn't really think much of it, as it was a joke from a comedian, but that said, the two black men on the podcast who Andrew made the joke to were from the UK, and they got a ton of pushback a while after from their fans for not checking the comedian about the joke, and instead laughing about it together. And I'm sure many people took offense to the comment, as is always the case when one makes an edgy joke targeting a certain group. It's pretty much unavoidable. Anyways, Ryan Clark took exception to the joke, and listened to what he said immediately after the comment was made.
And in addressing Andrew Schulz, who I do think is funny, who sits with Charlemagne and has some of these discussions about the culture, I believe he got too comfortable. So I would like to explain some things to him. I want to explain to him the black experience, the black woman experience from my point of view. It was watching my mother start from a bank teller and work her way up for decades to run her own collateral department, only to be mistreated when the bank was sold to another bank, and be so sick on Sunday that I finally had to say, hey, Mom, you're old enough to retire. That's the black woman experience. The black woman experience is black women caring so much about the nuclear black family, black women taking care of young black men to teach them how to be leaders, to teach them how to be strong, to teach them how to care about their God, about their family, and it's about their communities. And to raise their young black women to be independent enough to take care of themselves, but to understand how to support a family, how to support a man, while also understanding how to get it on your own. That's the black woman experience that I know. People feel so comfortable disrespecting them because we don't respect them publicly. So when you're sitting across from Andrew Schulz and he's talking about an experience that he can't understand because his wife is not black, you don't have the right to talk about that. You don't have the right to speak on something that you don't know, right? And to make a joke about what the experience is one thing if you're talking about haircuts and you're talking about clothing and you're talking about beards, or you're comparing what our friend Travis Kelce looked like when he was with Kayla Nicole to what he looks like now that he's with Taylor Swift, right? What you're not gonna do though is be disrespectful and say you have to develop a defense mechanism because of alleged violence. Black women aren't violent. Black women don't just walk around to beat people or to be angry or to be treated a certain way.
Okay, so that was like 7 or 8 months ago, and everything seemed to have blown over until Andrew went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, and was asked to address the incident with RC. So here he is explaining his thoughts on Club Shay Shay and then his conversation with Charlemagne the God on their podcast, Brilliant Idiots. So listen to Andrew Schulz as he takes another shot at Ryan Clark.
And then Ryan Clark took a break from posting pictures of his outfits on Instagram to do a whole soliloquy.
Man, why you on RC, man?
Bro,
did you have a conversation?
I love his Instagram. The outfit posts are amazing.
Right.
Like the group chat is always full of the outfit. Like we can't wait for the new Ryan Clark outfit drop. The second the new outfit where he's walking the streets and the smoke is in the background and like an inspirational quote, you know what I mean? That's like, ugh.
You need to have a conversation. Ryan's a good dude, man.
No, I know. Everybody tells me he's a good dude. But he did that and he like, it just felt like it was all clout. And he tried to make it this big thing. And he's like, by the end of it, he's like, he's one of these guys that like wants to say the N-word but doesn't. And I was like, what the is going on? Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
And that's the other thing, which like, I guess I should have been more forthcoming with it. I guess there's this part of me that's like, I'm like, if you want to talk about me in this situation, like just message me, like call me. You can get in touch with me through you. Like it's so easy to get in contact with me. So when there isn't that effort to get in contact with me, I'm like, oh, you guys are just going after clout. because you could talk to me and I would come on your pod and I would talk to you. There's not a person I won't sit down and talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think what Andrew said to Shannon and what he said to Charlemagne was all fair game, right? If I'm going to speak on something that he did, then now I'm putting myself in a place to be spoken about. I have no problem with that. I didn't find what he said disrespectful, even in cases of disagreeing, right? I also think it's cute that I'm in their group chat in my suits and he don't follow me. Like, that mean I'm clean. Yeah, like I ain't tripping. Yeah, I ain't tripping.
Though. Yeah, they get hell about the brooch.
Yeah, I ain't tripping on that. The thing about what Andrew said, though, that I disagree with was that I was speaking on what he did to gain clout. No one in the world defends black women to gain clout. Most of the time, the people defending black women are black women. What people do most times is what Andrew did. What people do most times is what the two young podcasters did. They laugh and they make jokes and they disrespect. And I get for Andrew, he said it was said in jest, and that's fine. That's why what I said, he made it a 10-minute soliloquy when he talked to Charlemagne. It was 5 minutes. 20 seconds was about Andrew Schulz. The beginning to set up what I was going to say was, here's what Andrew Schulz says. Now let me give you my experience. See, my issue is he has an issue with me talking about what he said when it's cool to make jokes. It's cool to make them the butt of those jokes, but it's not cool for me to share my good experiences with black women. It's not cool for me to give you the historic view of what black women have done in support of black men. To me, make that make sense. Why is it corny for me to now respond to this in defense of black women when I'm getting sent your clip with people asking me, what do you think about this? And clearly, if you still are responding about what I said, I don't need no clout either, right? Because I'm in a space where y'all can already hear me. And so to me, I don't think that it was what he made it out to be. And the larger problem I had was he claimed and I talked to Shannon on the phone, and I put it on a comment. He claimed that I said he would say the N-word, and that's not true. He told me I should have been speaking about those brothers, and I was, because I said it's brothers like that allow people to be comfortable enough to make excuses as to why they disrespect black people and black women.
Okay, so let's unpack some stuff. First off, I gotta agree with RC on the part where he didn't mention anything about Andrew wanting to say the N-word. Nowhere in Ryan's first response did he ever say what Schulz claimed on Shannon's podcast. And secondly, I don't think RC did this for clout. He's got one of the top sports podcasts in the world right now, so I don't think that's it. But at the same time, you could make an argument that he did this for maybe engagement. I mean, I've covered RC a lot on this channel with his race baiting tactics, and to be honest, for him to criticize someone about a joke, I think is another example of RC race baiting. I get where he's coming from if he feels sensitive and protective towards black women, but at the end of the day, these are jokes. Comedians make fun of people about all sorts of things from race, age, weight, sexual orientation, and other types of sensitive things, but for Ryan Clark to get upset about this, I think is a bit disingenuous. Honestly, I don't even know why he went down this road, as he was the only one who had an issue with this from a public figure's perspective. But I kinda get it coming from him, since he's been so vocal about stuff like this when people claim that he's race baiting. Anyways, guys, what do you all think about this? Was Ryan Clark out of pocket for calling out Andrew Schulz in the beginning?